A Psychology Mental Health Job Guide 3. Chapter 1. After your college degree, you have to get a professional license to practice in the field. Psychology Board websites. ASBPB.net, Association of State and Provincial Psychology Boards. In many states, licensed psychologists must complete continuing education courses to keep their licenses. ABPP.org, American Board of Professional Psychology Awards. Specialty certification in 15 areas of psychology. ABN-BOARD.com, American Board of Professional Neuropsychology. Offers certification in neuropsychology. Mental health professional licensing websites. You must be licensed as a psychologist to practice as a psychologist anywhere in the United States or Canada. The State Licensing Board will review your educational background. A doctoral degree must be in psychology or a field of related study from a regionally accredited institution. You must also have had at least 2 years of supervised professional experience. ksboap.com/licensing/index.php. Association of State and Provincial Psychology Boards. ASP. POB 3079. Peachtree City, Georgia 30269 or ASBPB.org. ASBPB.org, ASP. ASP is the Association of Psychology Licensing Boards in the United States and Canada. ASP offers mobility programs to assist in licensure of psychologists already licensed in another state, province, or territory. MFTlicense.com, Family Solutions Marriage and Family Therapy Licensure Information. COUNSELOR-LICENSE.com. AATBS.com, OTPS, Licensure Exam Preparation and Continuing Education. CounselingExam.com, help you prepare for the NCE licensure exam. apa.org/practice/licnet.html, information on licensure, basic licensure information from the Americall Psychological Association. ourworld.cs.com/psychlicense/index.htm, ksboap.com/licensing/index.php, psychology laws and licensing boards in Canada and the United States. nursing.virginia.edu, psychology licensure websites. uky.edu/education/edp/scifo2.html, University of Kentucky College of Education Master List of State Licensure Boards, Psychological Laws and Regulations, licensure-related resources by state or province. Canadian Psychology Laws and Licensing Boards by province. College of Alberta Psychologists. 10123 to 99 Street, 2100 Sun Life Place. Edmonton, UB T5J3H1. 780-424-5070. cap.ab.ca, Alberta homepage. qp.gov.ab.ca/documents/acts/H07.cfm, Alberta Health Professions Act. British Columbia. College of Psychologists of British Columbia. 1755 West Broadway, Suite 404. Vancouver, BC V6J4S5. 604-736-6164. collegeofpsychologists.bc.ca, BC homepage. qp.gov.bc.ca/stat/h/96183_01.htm, BC Health Professions Act. qp.gov.bc.ca/reg/h/healthprof/442_99.htm, BC Psychologists Regulations. collegeofpsychologists.bc.ca/documents.php, BC Application Packet. Manitoba. Psychological Association of Manitoba. 162-2025 Corridon Ave, number 253. Winnipeg, MBR3P0N5204-487-0784. cpmb.ca, Manitoba Psychological Association of Manitoba homepage. gov.mb.ca/laws/statutes/ccsm/p190e.php, Manitoba Psychologists Registration Act. cpmb.ca/documents/ce % sign 20 instructions % sign 202007.pdf, Manitoba Psychology Continuing Education Forms. New Brunswick. College of Psychologists of New Brunswick. 238 St. George Street, Suite 5. Moncton, NBE 1C1V9. 506-382-1994. cpnb.ca/en/home.aspx, New Brunswick homepage English. French language. cpnb.ca/fr/home.aspx, New Brunswick homepage French. Newfoundland and Labrador. Newfoundland and Labrador Board of Examiners in Psychology, NFPB. P.O. Box 5666, Station C. St. John's, NLA 1C5W8. 709-579-6313. northbyeastp.info, Newfoundland and Labrador homepage, hoa.gov.nl.ca/hoa/regulations % sign 5 CRC 9611229.htm, Consolidated Newfoundland and Labrador Psychology Regulations under the Psychologists Act. northbyeastp.info/number sign information FO Rappel Licence, Newfoundland and Labrador information for applicants. Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia Board of Examiners in Psychology. Halifax Professional Centre, Suite 455. 5991 Spring Garden Road. Halifax, Nova Scotia B3H1Y6902-423-2238. nsbep.org/pages/contact.html, Nova Scotia homepage. nsbep.org/pages/forms.html, Nova Scotia application forms. Ontario. The College of Psychologists of Ontario. L'Ordre des Psychologues de l'Ontario. 110 Eglinton Avenue West Suite 500. Toronto, Ontario M4R1A3. 416-961-8817. cpo.on.ca, Ontario homepage. cpo.on.ca, Ontario Regulations, Standards, and Guidelines. Prince Edward Island Psychologists Registration Board. Registrar, Dr. Philip Smith. Department of Psychology. University of Prince Edward Island. Charlottetown, PE. C1A4P3. 902-566-0549. paypsychology.org/payprb, Prince Edward Island Psychologists Registration Board. peepsychology.org/pperb/wp content/uploads/2012/04/pperb.act20092.pdf, Prince Edward Island Psychologists Act, Chapter 14. peepsychology.org/pperb/wp content/uploads/2012/04/pperb.regulations20111.pdf, Prince Edward Island Psychologists Regulations, Chapter P27.2. peepsychology.org/pperb/wp content/uploads/2012/04/application.form_.psychologist-candidate.pdf, Prince Edward Island Psychologists Application Forms. Quebec. Ordre des Psychologues du Québec. 1100, Rue Beaumont No. 510. Mont-Royal, Quebec H3P3H5. 514-738-1881, extension 225. ordrepsi.qc.ca, Quebec homepage. Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan College of Psychologists. 348 Albert Street. Regina, SKS4R2N2. 306-352-1699. skcp.ca, Saskatchewan homepage. skcp.ca/allegius_agree.html, Saskatchewan Psychologists Act. skcp.ca/registration.html, Saskatchewan information about registering as a psychologist. United States Psychology Laws and Licensing Boards by State. Alabama Board of Examiners in Psychology. 660 Adams Avenue Suite 360. Montgomery, Alabama 36104. 334-242-4127. psychology.state.al.us/index.htm, Alabama Psychology Board homepage. psychology.state.al.us/ala_law.htm, Alabama Psychology Licensing Law. psychology.state.al.us/application_info.htm, Alabama Applicant Information. psychology.state.al.us/cont_ed.htm, Alabama Psychology Continuing Education. Alaska Board of Psychologist and Psychological Associate Examiners. 333 Willoughby Avenue 9th floor, Sob. P0 Box 110806. Juneau, Alaska 99811-0806. 907-465-3811. dced.state.ak.us/occ/ppsy.htm, Alaska Psychology Board homepage. dced.ak.us/occ/pub/psychologist-statutes.pdf, Alaska Psychologist and Psychological Associate Statutes and Regulations as PDF file. dced.state.ak.us/occ/pub/psy4362.pdf, Alaska Application for Licensure as a Psychological Associate, PDF. dced.state.ak.us/occ/pub/psy4113.pdf, Alaska Application for Licensure as a Psychologist, PDF. Arizona Board of Psychologist Examiners. 1400 West Washington, Room 235. Phoenix, Arizona 85007. 602-542-8162. psychboard.az.gov, Arizona Psychology Board homepage. psychboard.az.gov/agency/formdoc.asp ? The type $0 section $3 go go, Arizona Psychology Rules and Statutes. psychboard.az.gov/agency/formdoc.asp ? The type $0 section $2 go go, application for Arizona Psychology Licensure. psychboard.az.gov/agency/general content page.asp ? Page ID $10 number sign. What are the continuing education requirements for renewal of my license? Arizona Psychology Continuing Education Requirements. Arkansas Board of Psychology. 101 East Capitol, Suite 415. Little Rock, Arkansas 72201. 501-682-6168. state.ar.us/abp, Arkansas Psychology Board homepage. arkansas.gov/ab/law_regulations.htm, laws governing Arkansas psychology. arkansas.gov/ab/applicants.htm, applying for Arkansas licensure. arkansas.gov/ab/continuing_education.htm, Arkansas Psychology Continuing Education. California Board of Psychology. 2005 Evergreen Street Suite 1400. Sacramento, California 95815-3894. 916-263-2696. psychboard.ca.gov, California Psychology Board homepage. psychology.ca.gov/laws_regs/index.shtml, California Psychology Laws and Regulations. psychology.ca.gov/forms_pubs/index.shtml, California Psychology Licensing and Renewal Process and Application and Other Forms. psychology.ca.gov/licensees/ce.shtml, California Psychology Continuing Education. Colorado Board of Psychologist Examiners. 1560 Broadway, Suite 880. Denver, Colorado 80202. 303-894-7768. colorado.gov/cs/satellite ? C =, child page name = Dora-reg %2F Dora layout &CID = 1251632299586 page name = CBON wrapper, Colorado State Board of Psychologist Examiners homepage. colorado.gov/cs/satellite/Dora-reg/CBON/Dora/1251632089838, Colorado Psychologist Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Policies. Connecticut Board of Examiners of Psychologists. Department of Public Health. P.O. Box 340308. 410 Capitol Avenue, MS No. 12 APP. Hartford, Connecticut 06134. 860-509-7603. dph.state.ct.us/licensure/apps/psyc_stats.pdf, Connecticut Psychology Licensing Law. dph.state.ct.us/licensure/apps/psych.pdf, Connecticut Psychology Licensing Application Information and Forms. Delaware Board of Examiners of Psychology. 861 Silver Lake Boulevard. Cannon Building, Suite 203. Dover, Delaware 199043027394522, extension 220. dpr.delaware.gov/boards/psychology/index.shtml, Delaware Board of Examiners of Psychology homepage. delcota.delaware.gov/title24/C035/index.shtml, Delaware Psychology Licensing Law. dpr.delaware.gov/boards/psychology/new-license.shtml, Delaware Psychology License Application Information and Forms. District of Columbia Board of Psychology. 825 North Capitol Street Northeast. Suite 2224. Washington, D.C. 20002. 202-442-4766. Florida Board of Psychology. 4052 Bald Cypress Way, bin number C05. Tallahassee, Florida 32399-3255. 850-245-4373. floridapsychology.gov, Florida Psychology Board homepage. leg.state.fl.us/statutes/index.cfm ? App_mode =display_statute &URL =CH0490/titel0490.htm &statute year =2001 title $2D $3E 2001 $3E chapter $2040, Florida Psychology Practice Act. floridapsychology.gov/licensing, Florida Psychology Licensing Requirements and Application. floridapsychology.gov/renewals/psychologist, Florida Psychology Continuing Education. Georgia State Board of Examiners of Psychologists. 237 Coliseum Drive, Macon, Georgia 31217-3858. 478-207-1670. sos.ga.gov/index.php/licensing/plb/44, Georgia Psychology Board homepage. sos.georgia.gov/cgi-bin/plblaws.asp board =02, Georgia Psychology Licensing Law. sos.ga.gov/cgi-bin/plb forms.asp board =2, Georgia Psychology Licensing Applications. Hawaii Board of Psychology. Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs, PVL. ATT, Psy. PO. Box 3469. Honolulu, Hawaii 96801. 808-586-2693. hawaii.gov/dcca/pvl/boards/psychology, Hawaii Psychology Board homepage. hawaii.gov/dcca/areas/pvl/boards/psychology/statute_rules, Hawaii Psychology Licensing Law and Rules. hawaii.gov/dcca/areas/pvl/boards/psychology/application_publications, Hawaii Psychology Licensing Application Forms and Publications. Idaho State Board of Psychologist Examiners. Bureau of Occupational Licenses. 1109 Main Street, Suite 220. Boise, Idaho 837-02208-334-3233. ebol.idaho.gov/boardpage.aspx?bureau Idaho Board homepage. legislature.idaho.gov/idstat/title 54/t54ch23.htm, Idaho Psychology Licensure Act. ebol.idaho.gov/ebol/board additional.aspx? Bureau Bureau linked =30, Idaho Psychology Code of Ethics. ebol.idaho.gov/ebol/board additional.aspx? Bureau Bureau linked =100, application for Idaho Psychology Licensure. Illinois Clinical Psychologists Licensing and Disciplinary Committee. Division of Professional Regulation. 320 West Washington Street, 3rd floor. Springfield, Illinois 62786. 217-782-0458. idfpr.com/dpr/learn/cb_doc/clinpsycho.htm, Illinois Clinical Psychologists Licensing and Disciplinary Board. ilga.gov/legislation/ilcs/ilcs3.asp? Act ID =1294 CHOPA CT =225% sign 26 NBSB% sign 3 BILCS% sign 26 NBSB% sign 3 B15% sign 2 FM% chapter ID =24 chapter name professions% sign 2 band sign 2 B occupations AC name clinical sign 2B psychologist sign 2B licensing sign 2B ACT sign 2E, Illinois Clinical Psychology Licensing Act. idfpr.com/dpr/renewal/psycl.asp, licensed clinical psychologist renewal. idfpr.com/renewals/apply/form/F1766bts.pdf, reasonable accommodation request for examinees with disabilities. Indiana State Psychology Board. Professional Licensing Agency. Attention, Indiana State Board of Dentistry. 402 West Washington St. Suite W066. Indianapolis, Indiana 46204. 317-234-2057. in.gov/pla/psych.htm, Indiana State Psychology Board homepage. in.gov/pla/2613.htm, Indiana Psychology Statutes and Rules. in.gov/pla/2610.htm, information and application for Indiana Psychology License. in.gov/pla/2606.htm, Indiana Psychology Continuing Education Requirements. Iowa Board of Psychology Examiners. Department of Public Health. 321 East 12th Street, Lucas State Office Building. 5th floor. Des Moines, Iowa 50319-0075. 515-281-4401. Kansas Behavioral Sciences Regulatory Board. 712 South Kansas Avenue. Topeka, Kansas 66603-3817. 785-296-3240. ksbsrb.org/psychologists.hdm, Kansas Psychology Board homepage. ksbsrb.org/psychologists.hdm, number sign links, statutes and regulations covering psychology in Kansas. ksbsrb.org/pdf/lp_app_packet.pdf, Kansas Psychology License Application Form, PDF. ksbsrb.org/pdf/lp_ce guideline.pdf, Continuing Education Requirements for Psychologists in Kansas, PDF. Kentucky State Board of Examiners of Psychology. P.O. Box 1360. Frankfort, Kentucky 40602-0456. 502-564-3296, extension 225. psy.ky.gov, Kentucky Psychology Board homepage. psy.ky.gov/pages/opinions.aspx, Kentucky Opinions and Declaratory Rulings. psy.ky.gov/pages/statutes.aspx, Kentucky Revised Statutes on the Practice of Psychology. psy.ky.gov/pages/regulations.aspx, Kentucky Administrative Regulations relevant to psychology. psy.ky.gov/pages/applications.aspx, application information and forms for licensed psychologist, licensed psychological associate, or licensed psychological practitioner in Kentucky. Louisiana State Board of Examiners of Psychologists. 8280 YMCA Plaza Drive, 1 Oak Square, Building 8B, Baton Rouge, Louisiana 70810. 225-763-3935. lsbep.org, Louisiana Psychology Board homepage. lsbep.org/lawsrules.php, Louisiana Psychology Licensing Law and Statutes Affecting Psychology in Louisiana. lsbep.org/forms.php, Louisiana Application Information and Forms. Louisiana State Board of Medical Examiners, Medical Psychologists, 630 Camp Street, New Orleans, Louisiana 7013054-568-6820. lsbme.la.gov/licensure/medical-psychologists, Louisiana State Board of Medical Examiners homepage for medical psychologists, includes application forms. lsbme.la.gov/content/medical-psychology-practice-act, Medical Psychology Practice Act. lsbme.la.gov/sites/default/files/documents/rules/individual %sign 20 rules/medical %sign 20 psychologists.pdf, Louisiana Administrative Code 46 XLV Medical Professions. Main Board of Examiners of Psychologists. 35 State House Station, Augusta, Maine 04333-0035. 207-624-8600. state.me.us/pfr/olr/categories/cat35.hdm, main application information and forms for psychologists, conditional psychologists, and temporary psychologists. Maryland Board of Examiners of Psychologists. 4201 Patterson Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland 21215-2299. 410-764-4787. dhmh.maryland.gov/psych/sitpage/home.aspx, Maryland Board of Examiners of Psychologists. dhmh.maryland.gov/psych/sitpage/generally-nfo-psych-license.aspx, application for Maryland Psychology License. dhmh.maryland.gov/psych/pdf/31912 letter C Regulations 1.pdf, Maryland Psychology Continuing Education Requirements. Massachusetts Board of Registration of Psychologists. Division of Registration. 239 Causeway Street, Boston, Massachusetts 02114. 617-727-0592. mass.gov/ocabr/licensee/dpl-board/pi, Massachusetts Board of Registration of Psychologists. mass.gov/ocabr/licensee/dpl-board/py/regulations/rules-and-regs, Massachusetts Rules and Regulations Governing Psychologist. mass.gov/ocabr/licensee/dpl-board/py/forms, application information and forms for Massachusetts Psychology License. Michigan Board of Psychology. P.O. Box 30670. Lansing, Michigan 48909. 517-335-0918. Michigan.gov/MDCH/0, 16075-27417_27529_27552-5-00.html, Michigan Psychology Board homepage. legislature.mi.gov/left-22xwgm55@mrw3mgvmmej55 right/mildg.aspx page =get MCL document &object name =MCL-act-368-of-1978 query ID =9521433, Michigan Public Health Code Act 368. Michigan.gov/Laura/0, 4601, 514535294_63294_27529_46752, McHagan Board of Psychology Information and Forms for Applicants, PDF. Minnesota Board of Psychology. 2829 University Avenue Southeast Suite 320. St. Paul, Minnesota 55414-3237. 612-617-2230. psychologyboard.state.mn.us/license.asp, Minnesota Board of Psychology. revisor.leg.state.mn.us/stats/148/911.html, continuing education requirements for Minnesota psychologists. Mississippi Board of Psychology. 419 E Broadway, Yazoo City, Mississippi 13769662716-3934. psychologyboard.state.ms.us/pages/default.aspx, Mississippi Board of Psychology homepage. psychologyboard.state.ms.us/pages/psychology-law.aspx, Mississippi Psychology Law. psychologyboard.state.ms.us/pages/apps-forms.aspx, Mississippi Psychology License Application and Renewal Forms. psychologyboard.state.ms.us/pages/ce.aspx, Mississippi Continuing Education Requirements and Form. Missouri State Committee of Psychologists. 3605 Missouri Boulevard, Jefferson City, Missouri 65109. 573-751-0099. pr.mo.gov/psychologists.asp, Missouri Psychology Board homepage. pr.mo.gov/psychologists-rules-statutes.asp, Missouri Psychology Statutes and Rules. pr.mo.gov/psychologists-application-forms.asp, Missouri Psychology License Application Information and Application Forms. Montana Board of Psychologists. 301 South Park Avenue, Room 430. Helena, Montana 59620-0513. 406-841-2394. discoveringmontana.com/dli/bsd/license/board/board_page.asp, Montana Psychology Board homepage. discoveringmontana.com/dli/bsd/license/board/psy_board/statutes.asp, statutes relating to the practice of psychology in Montana. Nebraska Board of Psychologists. 301 Centennial Mall South. 3rd floor. P.O. Box 94986. Lincoln, Nebraska 68509-4986. 402-471-2117. hhs.state.ne.us/crl/mhcs/psych/psych.htm, Nebraska Psychology Board homepage. hhs.state.ne.us/crl/mhcs/psych/psych.htm, number, sign, rules, statutes, rules, and regulations governing the practice of psychology in Nebraska. hhs.state.ne.us/crl/mhcs/psych/psych.htm, number, sign, applications, Nebraska information and application forms for a psychology license. State of Nevada Board of Psychological Examiners. P.O. Box 2286. Reno, Nevada 89505-2286. 775-688-1268. New Hampshire Board of Mental Health Practice. 129 Pleasant Street, Concord, New Hampshire 03301. 603-271-9369. gencourt.state.nh.us/rsa/html/nhtoc/NHTOC-XXX329-B.htm, New Hampshire Statutes Chapter 329B, Psychologists. gencourt.state.nh.us/rsa/html/xxx/329-B/329-B-15.htm, Psychology licensing requirements in New Hampshire. New Jersey State Board of Psychological Examiners. epub 45017. Newark, New Jersey 07101. 973-504-6470. state.nj.us/lps/ca/medical/psycho.htm, New Jersey Psychology Board homepage. state.nj.us/lps/ca/psy/psyreg.pdf, New Jersey Practicing Psychology Licensing Act, PDF. New Mexico Board of Psychologist Examiners. 2550 Cerrillos Road, Santa Fe, New Mexico 87505. 505-476-4607. rld.state.nm.us/board/psychologist_examiners.aspx, New Mexico State Board of Psychology Examiners. rld.state.nm.us/board/psychologist_examiners_rules_and_laws.aspx, New Mexico Board of Psychologist Examiners Rules and Laws. rld.state.nm.us/board/psychologist_forms_and_applications.aspx, New Mexico Psychology License Application Information and Form. rld.state.nm.us/board/psychologist_examiners_requirements_and continuing education.aspx, New Mexico Continuing Education Requirements for Psychologists. New York State Board for Psychology. New York State Education Department. Office of the Professions. 89 Washington Avenue, 2nd floor, East Wing. Albany, New York 12234-1000. 518-474-3817, extension 150. op.nicd.gov/psychalerts.htm, practice alerts and guidelines for New York psychologists. op.nicd.gov/article 153.htm, New York Education Law Article 153, Psychology. op.nicd.gov/psychforms.htm, information and application form for New York Psychology License. North Carolina Psychology Board. 895 State Farm Road, Suite 101. Boone, North Carolina 28607. 828-262-2258. nccpsychologyboard.org, North Carolina Psychology Board homepage. ncpsychologyboard.org/office/pd-files/pracact.pdf, North Carolina Psychology Practice Act, PDF. ncpsychologyboard.org/education.htm, Continuing Education Requirements for North Carolina Psychologists. North Dakota State Board of Psychologist Examiners. epub 7458. Bismarck, North Dakota 58507-7458. 701-250-8691. Ohio State Board of Psychology. 77 South High Street Suite 1830. Columbus, Ohio 43215-6108. 614-466-8808. state.oh.us/Psychoma Ohio Psychology Board homepage. psychology.ohio.gov/law-and-rule.stm, Ohio Psychology Law and Rules Governing Psychologists. state.oh.us/psy/licensing.stm, Information and Application Form for Ohio Psychology License. psychology.ohio.gov/pdfs/ce Update July 2002.pdf, Continuing Education Requirements for Ohio Psychologists. Oklahoma State Board of Examiners of Psychologists. 201 Northeast 38th Terrace Suite 3. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma 73105. 405-524-9094. Oklahoma osf.state.ok.us/osf-docs/bb96-575.html, Oklahoma Psychology Licensing Board Information. Oregon State Board of Psychologist Examiners. 3218 Pringle Road. SE, Suite 130. Salem, Oregon 97302-6309. 503-378-4154. obpe.state.or.us, Oregon Psychology Board homepage. obpe.state.or.us/obpe/laws_rules.shtml, laws, rules, and regulations pertaining to the practice of psychology in Oregon. obpe.state.or.us/obpe/app_info.shtml, Oregon Psychology License Applicant Information and Form. obpe.state.or.us/obpe/continue_ed.shtml, Continuing Education Requirements for Oregon Psychologists. Pennsylvania State Board of Psychology. 2601 North 3rd Street. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania 17110. 717-783-7155, EXT3. dos.state.pa.us/bpoa/cwp/view.asp?Q=1104$Q=4330551, Pennsylvania Psychology Board homepage. pacoda.com/secure/data/049/chapter41/chap41toc.html, Pennsylvania Psychology Practice Act. dos.state.pa.us/bpoa/cwp/view.asp?Q=1104$Q=4333044, Information for Pennsylvania Psychology License. Rhode Island Board of Psychology Office of Health Professionals Regulations, Cannon Building. 3, Capitol Hill Room 104. Providence, Rhode Island 02908-5097401-222-2827. sos.ri.gov/open-meetings/?page =view_entity&ID=288, Rhode Island Psychology Board homepage. sos.ri.gov/documents/archives/register-dossiers/released/pdf/6303.pdf, Rules and regulations pertaining to the licensing of psychologists in the state of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations, PDF. health.ri.gov/applications/psychologist.pdf, Rhode Island Psychology License Application Forms. South Carolina Board of Examiners in Psychology. epub 11329. Columbia, South Carolina 29211-1329. 803-896-4664. llr.state.sc.us/pol/psychology, South Carolina Board of Psychology Examiners homepage. scstatehouse.gov/code/T40C055.php, South Carolina Psychology Practice Act. scstatehouse.gov/codergs/C100.php, South Carolina Psychology Regulations. llr.state.sc/pol/psychology/index.asp, file equals licensure.htm, information and application for South Carolina Psychology License. South Dakota Board of Examiners of Psychologists. 135 East Illinois, Suite 214. Spearfish, South Dakota 57783. 605-642-1600. dss.sd.gov/behavioral health services/licensing board/board_psychologists.asp, South Dakota Board of Psychologist Examiners homepage. Allegis.state.sd.us/statutes/displays/tatute.aspx ?statute =36-26-27 type =statute, South Dakota Psychology Law 36-27A. dss.sd.gov/behavioral health services/licensing boards/docs/ps-yup licensure 030410.pdf, application form and information for South Dakota Psychology License. Tennessee Board of Examiners in Psychology. 425 5th Avenue North. First floor, Cordell Hull Building. Nashville, Tennessee 37243. 615-532-5127. health.state.tn.us/boards/psychology, Tennessee Psychology Board homepage. health.state.tn.us/boards/psychology/statutes.htm, statutes relevant to psychology practice in Tennessee. health.state.tn.us/boards/psychology/applications.htm, information and application forms for a license to practice psychology in Tennessee. health.state.tn.us/boards/psychology/continuing.htm, continuing education requirements for Tennessee psychologists. Texas State Board of Examiners of Psychologists. 333 Guadalupe, Tower 2, Room 450. Austin, Texas 78701. 512-305-7700. tsbep.state.tx.us, Texas Psychology Board homepage. statutes.allegis.state.tx.us/?link =OC, Texas Psychologists Licensing Act. tsbep.state.tx.us/how-to-become-licensed, application information for Texas Psychology License. tsbep.state.tx.us/renewals online-renewals-and-continuing education, continuing education requirements for licensed psychologists in Texas. Utah Psychologist Licensing Board. Division of Occupational and Professional Licensing. 160 E300S, Box 146741. Salt Lake City, Utah 84114-6741. 801-530-6628. dopl.utah.gov/licensing/psychology.html, Utah Psychology Board homepage. dopl.utah.gov/licensing/psychology.html, Utah Psychology Licensing Act and related statutes. dopl.utah.gov/licensing/psychology.html, applicant information for Utah. Vermont Board of Psychological Examiners. Office of Professional Regulation. 26 Terrace Street, Montpelier, Vermont 05609-1106. 802-828-2373. vtprofessionals.org/opr1/psychologists, Vermont. Psychology Board homepage. leg.state.vt.us/statutes/full chapter.cfm Title =26 chapter =055, Vermont Psychology Licensing Law. vtprofessionals.org/opr1/psychologists, application for Vermont Psychology License. Virgin Islands. Executive Secretary to Medical Boards. Office of the Commissioner. Roy L. Schneider Hospital. St. Thomas, Virgin Islands 00801 340 776 8311, extension 5078. Virginia Board of Psychology. 6603 West Broad Street, 5th floor. Richmond, Virginia 23230-1717. 804-662-9913. dhp.virginia.gov/psychology, Virginia Psychology Board homepage. dhp.virginia.gov/psychology/psychology_laws_regs.htm, laws and regulations governing psychology in Virginia. dhp.virginia.gov/psychology/psychology_forms.htm, information and application forms for Virginia Psychology License. dhp.virginia.gov/psychology/psychology_faq.htm, continuing competency requirements for Virginia psychologists. Washington State Examining Board of Psychology. Department of Health. epub 47869. Olympia, Washington 98504-7869. 360-236-4912. doh.wa.gov/licenses, permits and certificates/professions, new renewer update/psychologist/board information.aspx, Washington State Psychology Board. doh.wa.gov/licenses, permits and certificates/professions, new renewer update/psychologist/applications and forms.aspx, Washington State Psychology License application forms. doh.wa.gov/licenses, permits and certificates/professions, new renewer update/psychologist/continuing education.aspx, Washington State Continuing Education requirements for psychologists. West Virginia Board of Examiners of Psychologists. epub 3955. Charleston, West Virginia 25339-3955. 304-558-3040. Wisconsin Psychology Examining Board. Department of Regulation and Licensing. Bureau of Health Service Professions. epub 8935. Madison, Wisconsin 53708-8935-608-266-2112. Allegius.state.wi.us/statutes/stat0455.pdf, Wisconsin Psychology Licensing Law. drl.wi.gov/prof_docs_list.asp?prof ID =44 loci D =0, information and forms for obtaining a psychology license in Wisconsin. allegius.wisconsin.gov/rsb/code/psy004.pdf, continuing education requirements for Wisconsin psychologists. Wyoming State Board of Psychology. 2020 Cary Avenue Suite 201. Cheyenne, West Virginia 82002. 307-777-6529. plboards.state.wy.us/psychology/index.asp, Wyoming Psychology Board homepage. plboards.state.wy.us/psychology/rules-regs.asp, Wyoming statute, rules, and regulations pertaining to licensing psychologists. plboards.state.wy.us/psychology/insterguide.asp, Wyoming Psychology License Information and Application Forms. United States State Psychologist Licensing Boards. psychcentral.com/lib/u-s-state-psychologist-licensing-boards. Alabama. Psychology.state.al.us, Alabama Board of Examiners in Psychology, 660 Adams Avenue Suite 360 Montgomery, Alabama, 36104 334, 242, 4127. Psychology.state.al.us, License Verification, AL. Alaska. dced.state.ak.us/occ/ppsy.hdm, Alaska Board of Psychologist and Psychological Associate Examiners, 333 Willoughby Avenue, Saab, PO Box 110806, Juneau, Alaska, 998110806, 907, 465, 3811. dced.state.ak.us/occ/search3.hdm, license verification, AK. Arizona. psychboard.az.gov, Arizona Board of Psychologist Examiners, 1400 W Washington, Room 235, Phoenix, Arizona, 85007 602, 542, 8162. psychboard.az.gov/directory.hdm, license verification, AZ. Arkansas. arkansas.gov/ap, Arkansas Board of Examiners in Psychology, 101 East Capitol, Suite 415, Little Rock, Arkansas, 72201 501, 682, 6168. ark.org/psych_lic_ver/index.php, license verification, AR. California. psychboard.ca.gov, California Board of Psychology, 1422 Howe Avenue Suite 22, Sacramento, California, 95825 3200, 916, 263, 2696. dca.ca.gov/PLS/WLL pub/WLL_QRENA$PND_code=P_SX$P_73000, license verification, CA. Colorado. dora.state.co.us/mental-health/psaboard.hdm, Colorado Board of Psychologist Examiners, 1560 Broadway, Suite 1370, Denver, Colorado, 80202 303, 894, 7767. dora.state.co.us/library/media-request.hdm, license verification, CO. Connecticut. ct.gov/dph/cwp/view.asp?*312$Q=3895448, Connecticut Board of Examiners of Psychologists, Department of Public Health, P.O. Box 340308, 410 Capitol Avenue, MS12APP, Hartford, Connecticut 06134860, 509, 7567. dir.ct.gov/dph/scripts/hlthprof.asp, license verification, CT. Delaware Professional Licensing.state.de.us/boards/psychology/index.shtml, Delaware Board of Examiners of Psychologists, 861 Silver Lake Boulevard, Cannon Building, Suite 203, Dover, Delaware, 19904 302, 739, 4522, EXT 220. Professional Licensing.state.de.us/boards/psychology/licklist.shtml, license verification, DA. District of Columbia. dchealth.dc.gov/prof_license/services/boards_main_action.asp $22, District of Columbia Board of Psychology, 825 North Capitol Street Northeast Suite 2224 Washington, D.C. 20002202442-4764. app.hpla.doh.dc.gov/web lookup, license verification, D.C. Florida. doh.state.fl.us/mqa/psychology/index.html, Florida Board of Psychology, 4050 Bald Cypress Way, Tallahassee, Florida, 32399 3255, 850, 487, 2098. doh.state.fl.us/irm00 pires/praslist.asp, license verification, FL. Georgia. sos.state.ga.us/plb/psych, Georgia State Board of Examiners of Psychologists, 237 Coliseum Drive, Macon, Georgia, 31217 3858, 912, 207, 1678. secure.sos.state.ga.us/my-verification, license verification, GA. Hawaii. hawaii.gov/dcca/areas/pvl/boards/psychology, Hawaii Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs, Psychology, P.O. Box 3469, Honolulu, Hawaii 96801 586 2693. ehawaii.gov.org/surf/pvl, license verification, Hi. Idaho. secure.ebol.idaho.gov/ebol/boardpage.aspx Bureau =Psych, Idaho Board of Psychologist Examiners, Bureau of Occupational Licenses, 1109 Main Street Suite 220 Boise, Idaho 83702 208, 334, 3233. secure.ebol.idaho.gov/eibol public/lpr browser.aspx, license verification, ID. Illinois. idfpr.com/dpr/who/psych.asp, Illinois Clinical Psychologists Licensing and Disciplinary Board, Department of Professional Regulation, 320 West Washington Street, Springfield, Illinois 62786 217, 524, 2167. idfpr.com/dpr/license lookup/default.asp, license verification, IL. Indiana. in.gov/pla/ban/c/isbb, Indiana State Psychology Board, 402 West Washington St. Room 041, Indianapolis, Indiana 4620 317, 234, 2057. fextranet.in.gov/web lookup/search.aspx, license verification, in Iowa. idph.state.ia.us/licensure/board_home.asp?board=Psych, Iowa Board of Psychology Examiners, Department of Public Health, 321 East 12th Street, Lucas State Office Building, Des Moines, Iowa 503190075, 515, 281, 4401. Kansas. ksbsrb.org, Kansas Behavioral Sciences Regulatory Board, 712 South Kansas Avenue, Topeka, Kansas 66603 3817, 785, 296, 3240. ksbsrb.org/verification.html, license verification, KS. Kentucky. finance.ky.gov/our-cabinet/cabo-ff/oas/op/psych-bd, Kentucky Board of Examiners of Psychology, P.O. Box 1360, Frankfort, Kentucky 406020456, 502, 564, 3296, EXT 225. ky.gov/onppub, license verification, KY Louisiana. Louisiana. lsbep.org, Louisiana State Board of Examiners of Psychologists, 8280 YMCA Plaza Drive Building 8B, Baton Rouge, Louisiana 70810-225, 763, 3935. anisiamuswebs.com/lsbep_db.asp, license verification, LA. Maine. state.me.us/pfr/olr/categories/cat35.htm, Maine Board of Examiners of Psychologists, 35, State House Station, Augusta, Maine 0433300035, 207, 624, 8600. state.me.us/pfr/olr/list.htm, license verification, me. Maryland. dhmh.state.md.us/psych/index.html, Maryland Board of Examiners of Psychologists, 4201 Patterson Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland 21215, 2299, 410, 764, 4787. dhmh.state.md.us/health/licpract.htm, license verification, MD. Massachusetts. mass.gov/dpl/boards/py/index.htm, Massachusetts Board of Registration of Psychologists, Division of Registration, 239 Causeway Street, Boston, Massachusetts 02114, 727, 0592, license.reg.state.ma.us/public/lik.asp question mark color == red ampersand board == pi, license verification, MA. Michigan. michigan.gov/cis/0,1607,7,154, 10568_17671_17692, 42798, 00.html, Michigan Board of Psychology, 611 W. Ottawa, Lansing, Michigan 48909517, 373, 9102. cis.state.mi.us/free/default.asp, license verification, MI. Minnesota. psychologyboard.state.mn.us, Minnesota Board of Psychology. 2829 University Avenue Southeast Suite 320, St. Paul, Minnesota 55414, 3237, 612, 617, 2230. psychologyboard.state.mn.us/lickforms.asp question mark doc ID =36, license verification, MN. Mississippi. psychologyboard.state.ms.us/msbp/msbp.nsf, Mississippi State Board of Psychological Examiners, 5273 I, 55 North, Suite 104, Jackson, Mississippi 39206, 321, 4621. psychologyboard.state.ms.us/msbp/msbp.nsf/search question mark open form, license verification, MS. Missouri. pr.mo.gov/psychologists.asp, Missouri State Committee of Psychologists, 3605 Missouri Boulevard, P.O. Box 1335, Jefferson City, Missouri 65102, 1335, 573, 751, 0099. renew.pr.mo.gov/licensee, search.asp, license verification, MO. Montana. discoveringmontana.com/DLI/BSD/license/BSD_board/board_page.htm, Montana Board of Psychologists, 301 South Park Avenue, Helena, Montana, 596200513, 406, 841, 2394. app.discoveringmontana.com/bsdinq/index.html, license verification, MT. Nebraska. hhs.state.ne.us/crl/mhcs/psych/psych.htm, Nebraska Board of Examiners of Psychologists, 301 Centennial Mall South, P.O. Box 94986, Lincoln, Nebraska, 685094986, 402, 471, 2117. hhs.state.ne.us/lis/lis.asp, license verification, NE. Nevada. psyexam.state.nv.us, State of Nevada Psychological Examiners, Board, P.O. Box 2286, Reno, Nevada, 895052286, 702, 688, 1268. License verification, NV. New Hampshire. state.nh.us/mhpb/index.html, New Hampshire Board of Mental Health Practice, 49 Donovan Street, Concord, New Hampshire, 033016003, 271, 6762. nhlicenses.nh.gov/web lookup, license verification, NH. New Mexico. rld.state.nm.us/b_c/psychology, New Mexico Board of Psychologist Examiners, P.O. Box 25101, Santa Fe, New Mexico, 875045005, 476, 7078. rld.state.nm.us/b_c/psychology/licensee%sign 20 search/licensee_search.asp, license verification, NM. New Jersey. state.nj.us/lps/ca/medical.htm, number sign Psi13, New Jersey State Board of Psychological Examiners, P.O. Box 45017, Newark, New Jersey, 07101973504, 6470. state.nj.us/lps/ca/psy.dir.htm, license verification, New Jersey. New York. op.nicd.gov/psych.htm, New York State Board for Psychology, NICE Education Department, 89 Washington Avenue, Albany, New York, 12230 474, 3817 ext 150. op.nicd.gov/opsearches.htm, license verification, New York. North Dakota. governor.state.nd.us/boards/boards, query.asp, board_ID = 88, North Dakota State Board of Psychologist Examiners, P.O. Box 7458, Bismarck, North Dakota, 58507 250, 8691. License verification, ND. North Carolina. nccpsychologyboard.org, North Carolina Psychology Board, 895 State Farm Road, Suite 101, Boone, North Carolina, 28607 262, 2258. nccpsychologyboard.org/search.htm, license verification, NC. Ohio. psychology.ohio.gov, Ohio State Board of Psychology, 77 South High Street, Suite 1830, Columbus, Ohio, 43215 6108, 614, 466, 8808. License.ohio.gov/lookup/default.asp ? Division =83, license verification, O. Oklahoma. OK.gov/OSBEP, Oklahoma State Board of Examiners of Psychologists, 201 Northeast 38th Terrace Suite 3 Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, 73105 405, 524, 9094. OK.gov/OSBEP/app/search/index.php, license verification, OK. Oregon. obpe.state.or.us, Oregon State Board of Psychologist Examiners, 3218 Pringle Road Southeast Suite 130 Salem, Oregon, 97302 6309, 503, 378, 4154. obpe.alcsoftware.com/lookup.php, license verification, or Pennsylvania. dos.state.pa.us/bpoa/cybd/mainpage.htm, Pennsylvania State Board of Psychology, P.O. Box 2649, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, 17105 2649, 717, 783, 7155. License.state.pa.us, license verification, PA. Rhode Island. health.ri.gov/hsr/professions/psych.php, Rhode Island Board of Psychology, 3 Capitol Hill, Room 104, Providence, Rhode Island, 02908 5097, 401, 222, 2827. healthri.mylicense.com/verification, license verification, RI. South Dakota. state.sd.us/dhs/boards/psychologists/psych, ho.htm, South Dakota Board of Examiners of Psychologists, 135 East Illinois, Suite 214, Spearfish, South Dakota, 57783 605, 642, 1600. state.sd.us/dhs/boards/psychologists/roster.htm, license verification, SD. South Carolina. llr.state.sc.us/pol/psychology, South Carolina Board of Examiners in Psychology, P.O. Box 11329, Columbia, South Carolina, 29211 1329, 803, 896, 4664. verify.llronline.com/lookup/lookupmain.aspx, license verification, SC. Tennessee. state.tn.us/health/boards/psychology, Tennessee Board of Examiners in Psychology, 426 5th Avenue North, Cordell Hull Building, Nashville, Tennessee, 37247 1010, 615, 532, 5127. health.state.tn.us/licensure, license verification, TN. Texas. tsbep.state.tx.us, Texas State Board of Examiners of Psychologists, 333 Guadalupe, Suite 2, 450, Austin, Texas, 78701 512, 305, 7700. texasonline.state.tx.us/nasa/pp/txops/profiling search manager ?agency =tsbep, license verification, TX. Utah. uky.edu/education/edp/sciut.html, Utah Psychologist Licensing Board, Division of Occupational and Professional Licensing, 160 E300S, Box 146741, Salt Lake City, Utah 841146741, 801, 530, 6628. secure.utah.gov/llv/llv, license verification, UT. Vermont. vtprofessionals.org/opr1/psychologists, Vermont Board of Psychological Examiners, Office of Professional Regulation, 26 Terrace Street, Drawer 09, Montpelier, VT 05609, 802, 828, 2373. sec.state.vt.us/seek/opr_data.html, license verification, VT. vtprofessionals.org/opr1/opr/opr database download.html, other professions. Virginia. dhp.state.va.us/psychology/default.htm, Virginia Board of Psychology, 6606 West Broad Street, Richmond, Virginia 232301717, 804, 662, 9913. 6bnet.org/dhp/cgi, bin/search_public.cgi, license verification, VA. Washington. fortress.wa.gov/doh/hpqa1/hps7/psychology/default.htm, Washington State Examining Board of Psychology, P.O. Box 47869, Olympia, Washington 985047869, 360, 236, 4910. fortress.wa.gov/doh/provider credential search criteria.aspx, license verification, WA. West Virginia. wvpsychbd.org, West Virginia Board of Examiners of Psychologists, P.O. Box 3955, Charleston, West Virginia 25339, 3955, 304, 558, wvpsychbd.org/license_verification.htm, license verification, WV. Wisconsin drl.wi.gov/prof/sci/c/def.htm, Wisconsin Psychology Examining Board, Department of Regulation and Licensing, P.O. Box 8935, Madison, Wisconsin 53708, 8935, 608, 267, 7223. drl.wi.gov/lookupjump.htm, license verification, WI. Wyoming plboards.state.wy.us/psychology/index.asp, Wyoming State Board of Psychology, 2020, Cary Avenue No. 201, Cheyenne, Wyoming 82002, 307, 777, 6529. plboards.state.wy.us/psychology/construction.asp, license verification, WY. Chapter 2. Psychology, Psychiatry, Job Resources. Psychology Resources. Try number 150-159 at the Library for Psychology, number 291 for Spiritual Psychology, and number 616.86-90 for Mental Health Problems. Books about sociology are at number 301.02373 or HM585 at the library. 150 Psychology. 152 Physiological and Experimental. 153 Intelligence. 154 Subconscious States. 155 Differential and Genetic Psychology. 156 Comparative Psychology. 157 Abnormal and Clinical Psychology. 158 Applied Psychology, all the typical self-help books. 159 Miscellaneous. apa.org/books/students, 800, 374, 2721, books about careers in psychology. apa.org/monitor/feb01/careerpath.html. apa.org/science/jobs.html. asppb.org, Association of State and Provincial Psychology Boards. psichi.org/content, National Honor Society in Psychology, chapters at colleges and universities. psychologicalscience.org, American Psychological Society. siop.org, Industrial and Organizational Psychology. American Board of Professional Psychology. 514 East Capitol Avenue, Jefferson City, Missouri 65101. abpp.org, American Psychiatric Association. 1400 St. N.W. Number 501. Washington, D.C. 20005. 202-682-6220. apa.com. psych.org, American Psychological Association. 750 First St. Northeast, Washington, D.C. 20002-4242. 800-374-2721. 202-336-5500. 202-336-5510. apa.org. Resume Link Database, 614-777-4000. Association of Black Psychologists. POB 55999. Washington, D.C. 20040-5999. 202-722-0808. Monthly Psych Discourse. Association of State and Provincial Psychology Boards. POB 241245. Montgomery, Alabama 36124-1245. asppb.org. National Association of School Psychologists. 4340 East-West Highway, number 402. Bethesda, Maryland 20814. nasbweb.org. nasbonline.org. Psychology websites. aacap.org, Child and Adolescent Psychiatry. aat.org, Animal Assisted Therapy. abulafia.st.hmc.edu/m_miles/faq.html, What is therapy? thelasdpsychiatrist.com. acch.org, Association for the Care of Children's Health. aha.org, Holistic Health Association. apa.org, Psychological Association. apa.com, Psychiatric Association. apa.org/pubinfo. apa.org/psycinfo. apa.org/books/students, 800-374-2721, books about careers in psychology. apsa.org, American Psychoanalytic Association. aspppb.org, Association of State and Provincial Psychology Boards. austria.info.at/person/freud/index.html. behaviornet.com. behavior.net. bps.org.uk, British Psychological Society. chs.chico.k12.ca.us/staff/cohencla.htm, abnormal psychology. cityscape.co.uk/users/ad88/psych.htm, DSM, The Big Book. cmhc.com, Mental Health Net. cmhc.com/joblink. cogci.soton.ac.uk/psyciolocky. coil.com/growol/therapist.htm, How to choose a therapist. coloradostate.edu/departments/soc work/lists. counselorlink.com. cpa.ca, Canadian Psychological Association. csus.edu/org/lswn, Latino Social Work Network. cwse.org, Social Work Education. cybertowers.com/self-help. cyberpsych.org. decadeofbehavior.org. dirs.com/therapy, Directory of Mental Health Professionals. ds.ntri.net/html/health/gestalt-therapy. emotionsrule.com. essential.org/goodworks. etherapyweb.com, National Directory of Online Counselors. gasou.edu/psychweb. gasou.edu/psychweb/resource/selfhelp.htm. geron.org, gerontology. gestalt.org, Gestalt Therapy. greatcanadianpsych.ca. gwbweb.wustl.edu/jobs, social work, social service. harborside.com/home/e/equinox/welcome.htm, survivor of psychiatry. healthyminds.org. hmc.edu/tilde-miles/faq.html. huizen.dds.nl/Laura_D, personality disorders. info.cern.ch/hypertext/data sources/bisubject/psychology/psychology.html. humanistsofutah.org. inspiritive.com.au/nlp.htm, neurolinguistic programming. ishkbooks.com, Institute for the Study of Human Knowledge. laughtertherapy.com. libertynet.org/tilde/mhs/cl_house.html, mental health clearinghouse. library.ucd.edu.au/guides/social work. lib.umich.edu/chdocs/support/emotion.html. long. madia.stanford.educogsi, cognitive science. mcs.net/kathyw/trauma.html, trauma. medhlp.netusa.net/mntlhlth.html. mentalhealth.com. mentalhealth.org. mentalhealthjobs.com. metrolink.net/jquimby/mh.htm, mental health education. missouri.edu/SW-tree. nasbonline.org, Association of School Psychologists. naswca.org/jobbulletin.html, Social Workers California. naswdc.org, National Association of Social Workers. nationalregister.com/osd.html, National Register of Psychologists. neuropsychologycentral.com. nimh.nih.gov, National Institute of Mental Health. nlpinfo.com/home.htm, neurolinguistic programming. noz.com, Human Service Education. notproud.com, Confessions. onlinepsych.com. onlinepsych.com/mh. onlinepsych.com/treat/drugs.htm, mental health drugs. princeton.edu/tilde-harnad/psyc.html. psichi.org/content, National Honor Society in Psychology, chapters at colleges and universities. psychcrawler.com, Psychology database. psychdirect.com. psychologicalscience.org, American Psychological Society. psychology.com/therapy.htm. psyc2pucc.princeton.edu. psychlink.com. psychom.net. psychology.com. psychology.com/therapy.htm. psychology.msstate.edu. psychology.uni-bonn.de/kap/links_20.htm, clinical psychology links. psych.lmu.edu. psych.med.umich.edu. psych.ndsu.nodac.edu. psych.neu.edu, psychom.net, psych.org, Psychiatric Association, psych.stanford.edu, psychcrawler.com, Psychology Database, psychologytoday.com, psy.uwa.edu.au, realtime.net/mmjw, web links, saldage.com, sc.edu/swan, education for social work, schoolpsychology.net, selfhelpgroups.org, ship.edu/cgboe/ree/moslow, sigtaylor.com, siop.org, industrial and organizational psychology, socialservice.com, socialservicejobs.com, socialworker.com, socialworkers.org, sparknet.net/tjclear, sswahc.org, social work in healthcare, startingovertv.com, tescat.com/tilde-tina/asd/asd-faq1.html, personality disorders, theac.csd.sc.edu/swan, thoughtsciences.com, typelogic.com/typelinks, uchicago.edu/bseung/mental.html, umsmed.edu/sturges/stock.html, uoregon.edu/dvb/trauma.htm, upenn.edu/apprentice/trauma.html, trauma, virtualpsych.com, well.com/www/self-help, whittier.cps.k12.il.us/community/prg/lswo, Latino Social Workers Organization, wiso.uni-augsburg.de/socio/hartman/psycho/journals.html, index of psychology and social science journals, www.ns.com/tilde-lara/surveys.html, survivors of abuse, yourq.ca/department/psych/orgs, psychology associations, organizations, and societies, obst.org, American Association of Brief and Strategic Therapists, OBST, agpa.org, American Group Psychotherapy Association, AGPA, apsa.org, American Psychoanalytic Association, APSAT, apa.org, American Psychological Association, psychologicalscience.org, American Psychological Society, ASBPR.org, Asociación de Psicología de Puerto Rico, Asociación de Psicólogos de Puerto Rico, Association of Psychologists of Puerto Rico, in Spanish, APPR, app-panama.org, Asociación Panameña de Psicólogos, Asociación Panameña de Psicólogas, Panamanian Association of Psychologists, in Spanish, AP, apsi.ro, Asociación Psicologilar din Rom and Acirc, NIA, Asociación Psicologilar din Romania, Romanian Psychologists Association, in Romanian, APR, abp.org.br, Associação Brasileira de Psicanálise, Brazilian Psychoanalysis Association, in Portuguese and English, appcentral.org, Association for Psychological Type, utilizing instruments such as the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, MBTI, .apt, asdreams.org, Association for the Study of Dreams, accp.org.au, Australian College of Clinical Psychologists, psychology.org.au, Australian Psychological Society, bdp-verband.org, Berufsverband Deutscher Psychologen und Psychologen, Association of German Professional Psychologists, in German, BDP, bop.or.at, Berufsverband Österreichischer Psychologen und Psychologen, Professional Association of Austrian Psychologists, in German, BOP, babcp.org.uk, British Association for Behavioural and Cognitive Psychotherapies, BOP. bps.org.uk, British Psychological Society. CPA.ca, Canadian Psychological Association, Société Canadienne de Psychologie, CPA, SCP. cscsi.org, Canadian Society for Computational Studies of Intelligence, Société Canadienne pour l'étude de l'intelligence PAR. Colegio Psicólogos.cl, Colegio de Psicólogos de Chile, College of Psychologists of Chile, in Spanish, CPC. COP.es, Colegio Oficial de Psicólogos, Spanish Psychological Association, in Spanish, COP. dp.dk, Dansk Psykologforening, Danish Psychological Association, in Danish, DP. dgps.de, Deutsche Gesellschaft für Psychologie, German Psychological Society, in English and German, DGPs. Sexology.org, Deutsche Gesellschaft für Sozialwissenschaftliche Sexualforschung, German Society for Social Scientific Sex Research, in German with some English, DGSS. psychology-bg.org. easternpsychological.org, Eastern Psychological Association, Eastern, easternu.s.a, EPA. EPARANM.org. Egyptian Psychologists Association, in Arabic, RANM, EPA. EA-OHP.org, European Academy of Occupational Health Psychology. EAPP.org, European Association of Personality Psychology, EAPP. EAPA-HOMEPAGE.org, European Association of Psychological Assessment, EAPA. ESCOP.org, European Society for Cognitive Psychology, in English, ESCOP. HIMPSI.org, Himpunan Psikologi Indonesia, Indonesian Psychological Association, in Indonesian and English, HIMPSI. PsychologijaA.hr, Hrvatsko Psyhala and number 353, Ko Drew and number 353, TiVo, Croatian Psychological Society, in Serbo-Croatian, HPD. ISABS.org, Indian Society for Applied Behavioral Science, in English, ISABS. IAAPSI.org, International Association of Applied Psychology, Association Internationale de Psychologie Appliquée, IAAP, AIPA. Reading.org, International Reading Association. ISBWeb.org, International Society for Psychophysics. ISSD.org, International Society for the Study of Dissociation, Research in, Diagnosis of, and Treatment of Dissociative Disorders, for example, Multiple Personality Disorder, ISSD. ISSID.org, International Society for the Study of Individual Differences, ISID. ISLS.org, International Society of the Learning Sciences. ITAA-NET.org, International Transactional Analysis Association. IUPSIS.org, International Union of Psychological Science, Union Internationale de Psychologie Scientifique, mostly in English. Some French, IUPSI. Psychoanalysis.org.il. Israel Psychoanalytic Society, Israeli Psychoanalytic Society in Hebrew and English. Psychology.org.il. Israel Psychological Association, in Hebrew. Korean Psychology.or.kr, Korean Psychological Association, in Korean. MPT.hu, Magyar Psychology Törzség, Hungarian Psychological Association, in Hungarian, MPT. Synip.nl, Netherlands Instituut van Psychologen, Dutch Institute of Psychologists, in Dutch. The Professional Association of Psychologists in the Netherlands, NIP. NVNeuropsy.nl, Nederlandse Vereniging voor Neuropsychology, Netherlands Society for Neuropsychology, in Dutch. Psychology.org.nz, New Zealand Psychological Society, NZPSS. Psychol.no, Norsk Psykologforening, Norwegian Psychological Association, in Norwegian, NPF. PSY.gr. Panhellenios Psychologikos Syllogos, Panhellenic Psychological Association, in Greek, PPSS, PSA. Parapsych.org, Parapsychological Association. PsyHQ.org, Psychological Society of Ireland, Cuman Psysolath Aaron, in English. PsySSA.co.za, Psychological Society of South Africa, in English, PsySSA. Psychonomic.org, Psychonomic Society, Scientific Research in Psychology and Allied Sciences. SSP-SGP.ch, Schweizerische Gesellschaft für Psychologie, Société Suisse de Psychologie, Swiss Psychological Society, in English, German and French, SGP, SSP. Hypnosisclinica.org, Sociedad de Hipnoterapia Clínica, Clinical Hypnotherapy Society, in Spanish. Psicologia.org.mx, Sociedad Mexicana de Psicología, Mexican Psychological Society, in Spanish, SMP. sbponline.org.br, Sociedade Brasileira de Psicologia, Brazilian Psychological Society, in Portuguese. SIPS.it, Société Italiana di Psicologia, Italian Society of Psychology, in Italian, SIPS. bvp-sbp.be, Société Belgique de Psychologie, Belgische Vereniging voor Psychologie, Belgian Psychological Society, in English, SBP, BVP, BPS. Graphologie.asso.fr, Société Française de Graphologie, French Society of Graphology, in French and English. Concerned with the study of personality through handwriting, SFDG. sfpsy.org, Société Française de Psychologie, French Society of Psychology, in French. slp.lu, Société Luxembourgeoise de Psychologie, Luxembourg Psychological Society, in French. Pantheon.yale.edu/tat22, Society for a Science of Clinical Psychology, SSCP. sbsb.org, Society for Personality and Social Psychology, SPSP. sbrweb.org, Society for Psychophysiological Research. sbssi.org, Society for the Psychological Study of Social Issues. The Society for the Psychological Study of Social Issues constitutes Division 9 of the American Psychological Association, SPSI. sun.soci.niu.edu/SSBP, Southern Society for Philosophy and Psychology. scipsa.org.cy. Sundesmos Psychologos Kypro, Cyprus Psychologists Association, in Greek. Psychologförbundet.se, Sveriges Psykologförbund, Swedish Psychological Association, in Swedish. psycholog.org.tr, Turk Psychologlardern and number 287, Turkish Psychological Association, in Turkish and English, TPD, TPA. hkps.org.hk. Ziyanggang Zinli Suhui. Hong Kong Psychological Society, in English, HKPS. cpsbeijing.org. Zhenqiu Zinli Suhui. Chinese Psychological Society, in Chinese. Psychology Organizations. APA.org, American Psychological Association. Psychologicalscience.org, Association for Psychological Science. Animalbehaviorsociety.org, Animal Behavior Society. ABBAinternational.org, Association for Behavior Analysis International. asab.nottingham.ac.uk, Association for the Study of Animal Behavior. easternpsychological.org, Eastern Psychological Association. ibro.org/pub/front.asp, International Brain Research Organization. behavecol.com/pages/society/welcome.html, International Society for Behavioral Ecology. isdp.org, International Society for Developmental Psychobiology. neuroethology.org, International Society for Neuroethology. MidwesternPsych.org, Midwestern Psychological Association. Psychonomic.org, Psychonomic Society. PNears.org, Psychoneuroimmunology Research Society. SFN.org, Society for Neuroscience. SRBR.org/pages/default.aspx, Society for Research on Biological Rhythms. SRCD.org, Society for Research in Child Development. SSIB.org/web, Society for the Study of Ingestive Behavior. SSR.org, Society for the Study of Reproduction. SQAB.org, Society for the Quantitative Analysis of Behavior. SBNE.org, Society of Behavioral Neuroendocrinology. State Psychological Associations and Organizations. ALAPsych.org, Alabama Psychological Association. dced.state.ak.us/occ/ppsy.hdm, Alaska Board of Psychologist and Psychological Associate. Examiners. azpa.org, Arizona Psychological Association. adlerianaz.org, Adlerian Society of Arizona, ASA. calpsychlink.org, California Psychological Association. coloradopsych.org, Colorado Psychological Association. conpsych.org, Connecticut Psychological Association. dpsych.org, Delaware Psychological Association. dcpiaonline.org, District of Columbia Psychological Association. flapcch.com, Florida Psychological Association. gapsychology.org, Georgia Psychological Association. hawaiipsych.org, Hawaii Psychological Association. illinoispsychology.org, Illinois Psychological Association. inpsych.com, Indiana Psychological Association. iowapsychology.org, Iowa Psychological Association, IPA. kpa.org, Kentucky Psychological Association. mepia.org, Maine Psychological Association. marylandpsychology.org, Maryland Psychological Association. masspsych.org, Massachusetts Psychological Association. mychpsych.org, Michigan Psychological Association. psychologyboard.state.mn.us, Minnesota Board of Psychology, MBP. mnpsych.org, Minnesota Psychological Association, MPA. womenpsychologists.org, Minnesota Women in Psychology, MWP. mpassociation.org, Mississippi Psychological Association. mopcch.org, Missouri Psychological Association. nebpsych.org, Nebraska Psychological Association. nhpaonline.org, New Hampshire Psychological Association. psychologynewjersey.org, New Jersey Psychological Association. NYSPA.org, New York State Psychological Association. ncpsychology.com, North Carolina Psychological Association. opsych.org, Ohio Psychological Association. okpsych.org, Oklahoma Psychological Association. opa.org, Oregon Psychological Association. papsy.org, Pennsylvania Psychological Association, PPA. asbpr.org, Asociación de Psicología de Puerto Rico. ripcch.org, Rhode Island Psychological Association. sysd.com, South Dakota Psychological Association. tpaonline.org, Tennessee Psychological Association, TPA. texaspsych.org, Texas Psychological Association, TPA. biharpsych.org, Behar County Psychological Association, BPA. utahpsych.org, Utah Psychological Association. vapcch.org, Virginia Psychological Association. wapcch.org, Washington State Psychological Association. plboards.state.wy.us/psychology/index.asp, Wyoming Board of Psychology. wypsych.org, Wyoming Psychological Association. Australia Psychologist Associations. psycreg.health.nsw.gov.au, Psychologists Registration Board of New South Wales. psychologyboard.qld.gov.au, Psychologists Board of Queensland. psycreg.vic.gov.au, Psychologists Registration Board of Victoria, PRVB. APA Division and Section websites. apadivisions.org. apa.org/about/division, list of divisions. scra27.org, Society for Community Research and Action, Division 27. sbssi.org, Society for the Psychological Study of Social Issues, Division 9. health-psych.org, Health Psychology, Division 38. apadivision18.org, Psychologists in Public Service, Division 18. indiana.edu/div16, School Psychology, Division 16. apadivisions.org/division-34, Population and Environmental Psychology, Division 34. division45.org, Society for the Psychological Study of Ethnic Minority Issues, Division 45. div12.org, Society of Clinical Psychology, Division 12. div17.org, Society of Counseling Psychology, Division 17. div22.org, Division of Rehabilitation Psychology, Division 22. divisionofpsychotherapy.org, Division of Psychotherapy, Division 29. apadivisions.org/division-30/index.aspx, Society of Psychological Hypnosis, Division 30. apa.org/division/div33, Mental Retardation and Developmental Disabilities, Division 33. apa.org/division/div37, Society for Child and Family Policy and Practice, Division 37. health-psych.org, Division of Health Psychology, Division 38. scn40.org, Division of Clinical Neuropsychology, Division 40. division42.org, Psychologists in Independent Practice, Division 42. apa.org/about/division/div43.aspx, Division of Family Psychology, Division 43. apa49.org, Group Psychology and Group Psychotherapy, Division 49. apa.org/division/div50, Division on Addictions, Division 50. clinicalchildpsychology.org, Society of Clinical Child and Adolescent Psychology, Division 53. Society of Pediatric Psychology.org, Society of Pediatric Psychology, Division 54. division55.org, American Society for the Advancement of Pharmacotherapy, Division 55. apatraumadivision.org, Division of Trauma Psychology, Division 56. geropsychology.org, Society of Clinical Gerontology, Section 2. sscpweb.org, Society for a Science of Clinical Psychology, Section 3. apa.org/division/div12/section/section 6, Clinical Psychology of Ethnic Minorities, Section 6. apa.org/division/div12/section/section 7, Clinical Emergencies and Crises, Section 7. apa.org/division/div12/section/section 8, Association of Psychologists in Academic Health Centres, Section 8. UK Psychology Job Websites. healthcarers.nhs.uk/about/careers-nhs-pay-and-agenda-change-pay-rates, agenda for change, AFC, pay rates. bps.org.uk/public/become-psychologist, BPS, become a psychologist. leeds.ac.uk/chpccp, clearinghouse for postgraduate courses in clinical psychology. hcpc-uk.org, HCPC. jobsinpsychology.co.uk, Jobs in Psychology. mentalhealthjobs.co.uk, Mental Health Jobs. jobs.nhs.uk, NHS Jobs. jobs.scot.nhs.uk, NHS Scotland Recruitment. beta.bps.org.uk/psychologists/professional-development, BPS Professional Development Centre.